Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it foosball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Deutschland Hour.
Deutschland Hour. Welcome to the Schnitzel Boys. Hello.
These new opens put a smile on my face.
They are fun. They're peppier.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Yeah.
they have some longer music now. So nice.
Music, I
I
still.
feel properly opened. I feel like this show has been properly opened.
We are professional.
Properly
professional.
opened. Yes.
Properly open. It's Oktoberfest in München.
Yeah. Well, you know what happens. You know what that means if you're a Bochum fan.
Harry Kane and Lederhosen, and Harry Kane with a hat trick and 2 assists. As Bayern München handily defeated VfL Bochum 7-0 in München this weekend.
It's an annual tradition.
Yeah, it's literally happened. This exact scoreline 3 seasons in a row, right? Or was it maybe there was a gap year? But
They do always. I was telling somebody, and people didn't believe that this was true, but it's true. They schedule this game always, or almost always, for the beginning of Oktoberfest to provide Bayern a little relief when they're perhaps distracted and partying. So they sent poor Bochum, the sheep of Bochum, to the lions of Bayern to be destroyed. Yeah, 7-0. But every time that happens, apparently, we don't get relegated.
that's
So
right.
that's the good news. Now the sad part is that this has it happened often enough that there's a sample size for this.
yeah. This is
So-
the third time. This is the third time this happened.
Good news, guys.
Right.
Every time you get kicked in the balls, you don't. Yeah. Anyway, that was a tough game to watch. I don't know what the F we were thinking going into that game. Like there was like some, I guess Christoph Biermann on Twitter, I saw him call it naive. The game plan can only be called naive, and I think that's true. We were like kind of going
It was a
forward,
high press at first.
high
right?
press
Yeah.
going forward as if we were like fucking Real Madrid or whatever. Like it was wild. And
Bayern
we did
München are like
not-
we have a defense against this.
it was like the proverbial shooting fish in a barrel for them. And there was somebody said this on Twitter. I forget who it was.
But then they
Who was
switched
saying
to
how
a
the first person to shoot fish in a barrel was saying I'm struggling to express how easy this is. Anyway,
That's what he said. That's funny. Well, and then they switched to a defensive mode, and then in that defensive mode, they let 3 goals go past them as well.
I
So,
mean,
you can do whatever you want. Both can
not
do
a
whatever they want.
not a good situation. We just enjoy having the worst goal differential in the league. We had a couple weeks now where that wasn't the case, so we were like, we like coming from behind, so let's go for it.
Yeah, and Bochum, they're always coming from behind. And they're like, we'll do a challenge.
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm being a little. That's my 8-year-old
What?
self coming out.
I don't even understand though.
You just said at Bochum we like coming from behind. Is what you just said.
So you
All I did was just say it again. That's all I said.
okay?
At
All
Bochum, they like coming from behind. Anyway, I'm just restating what you said. Bochum's like, you know what? We like a good challenge. First things first, -7 goal difference.
Yeah, let's go.
Step 1. Step 2,
Step 1,
dig
get
ourselves out of a
slaughtered.
hole. Bochum style. All right. Ruhrgebiet style. The word style.
It's odd. Like we're in 14th place, which is fine, but we have not won a game. We have 3 points out of 5, and we do now officially have the worst goal differential in the league. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes.
Well, there are teams doing worse, and unfortunately, our friends at Mainz.
I am no longer making predictions. Last year, I was convinced we would get relegated.
Yeah,
So,
and it was looking like it. But no, never count out the Bochumans. They're little frickers, right? They're like a tough nut to crack.
we like
But
to
the
come
reality,
from behind.
but 100%. But right, what I'm seeing right now is they're making a choice, a very brave choice, to be a high press team. That's new this year.
This cannot be whatever that was. This cannot be a thing. Like, I really don't think so.
They did that against Frankfurt as well, and it worked. They got a hard fought 1-1. I guess they could have won, but they got a hard fought 1-1 tie.
But I
and they
thought
were-
it was a little deeper than that. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Hmm.
This is what happened before the season. They were like, oh, we can now set our sights a little higher. We can be a little more ambitious. We can have different ways to play. Always the kiss of death for Bochum. When you hear those kinds of proclamations, you're like, oh God.
Yeah, well, why did they say that?
7-0 thrashing is
They
because
don't buy
you know,
players or anything. It's just the same team.
well, we had a
Worse
couple.
even.
We got a couple of. I mean, at least this year we kept everybody. That's not usually the case. Usually anytime we do okay, it's like the rest of the league is like going to the bargain basement and picking off these guys are not so bad. We can
Right.
We'll pay them twice as much and they'll be excited to come.
All of these players are on open part-time contracts. It's easy for us to buy whoever we want.
Basically, I mean, that's what happened after season 1 in the Bundesliga. Everybody left. A lot of people left. And that's why I was so pessimistic last year, because it didn't seem like they were replaced with, and eventually there were some replacements came in, and now but this year, this year they kept everybody, and there were a couple of new signings, and so there was some at least some continuity. But then, you know, you understand you don't want to just be like that team that sort of defends and then hopes for the best up front. You want to be more progressive in a way, I guess. But on the other hand, that just doesn't seem. It's just not in our DNA, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean,
we'll see. You guys are 14th. Like I said, our boys. Perfect segue. I think Mainz and Köln are the clubs in our chat as of right now, right? We got some Köln boys, some Mainz boys, and Hans Wolf just said he just got back from Washington D.C. a few minutes ago. One exciting time at the Köln USA annual meeting. What a blast we had! Curla Alaf. I saw the photo. Tell me everything, Hans. Tell us how the Köln meetup went. I saw cool photos online, some good crew. And you guys went to a DC United game as well that day, right? Who did DC United play on Wednesday? Who did they play? But it seemed like a fun time. But more importantly, how much Schnitzel Boys talk was there? How were you talking us up? Telling the other German American fans to tune in,
to pity subscribe to the.
Did you run into David Riccio, another Schnitzelkopf who made his way down there? I believe. Maybe
tell us everything. Köln not doing so well either. Also 1 point out of 5 games.
Hans Wolf, 3 straight days of heavy rains. David Riccio is in the chat. Oh, there you go. You're even here. Both of my boys are here. It was a good time in DC. Pissing rain, but good. Yeah, you guys brought the rain from Deutschland, didn't you? Very
it's raining everywhere.
Excellent. Yeah, tell us, David Riccio, did you get to
Rihanna tells us this. It's raining. It's now raining more than ever.
I'm lost on the reference. Is it a song, or
did
Rihanna just say that out loud?
Umbrella, the song.
Umbrella.
Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella.
Umbrella. I thought Rihanna came out and did a political statement about climate change yesterday, and I missed it. And
I don't know if she may have done that as well, but I was referring.
Hans Wolf, yeah, I'll tell you, I was very surprised. I was recognized through your show. Hell yeah, Hans Wolf.
Let's go.
Making the big world smaller. David Riccio, you guys were both there. Do you guys get to see each other and shake hands, or do you guys not realize?
Was it a big? I mean, how many people are we talking about here?
Yeah, the photo I saw was like 30 or 40 folk. It wasn't thousands of folk, but it was like
Kölsch in a tent, beautiful. I like a Kölsch. It's just easy. They go down quick. Those Kölsches.
You know what happened here in LA, and I should have gone, but I never went. In a German beer hall here in West LA, the head brewmeister of Weinstefan was there. like from Germany, and it was a meet and greet with the brewmaster. I didn't know that was a thing.
Wow, celebrity brewmaster.
I didn't know the brewmaster celebrities, but you could meet the head brewmaster of Weinstefan, which claims to be the world's oldest brewery, by the way.
Okay.
And they're in. I think
Claims to be. That's can't be. That's got to be.
I mean, I'm going to look them up. They're in Bayern.
That's not a German thing to just claim that. They must be fairly confident in that assertion.
Bayerische Stadtbrauerei Weinstefan. So it's a Bavarian Brauerei.
Shares your name too.
True, Stefan. They spell with a PH, which is
spelled
weird.
Differently, yeah.
I spell, the brewery advertises itself as the world's oldest brewery.
Okay.
So it doesn't say it is, just as advertises itself.
I guess it's hard to, at the time. Didn't check the entire world. The internet didn't exist.
Until the brewery described its date of foundation as the year 1146. I mean, damn, that's old. At this time, a document allegedly dating to the year 1040 resurfaced. Well, that could also be if I was in the marketing department of a beer company, I'd be like, let's see if we can't get a forger to make a decent looking document and have it resurface saying we're the oldest, best beer around. But anyway, so I was like, should I go? But the reason I bring it up,
very cynical, Stefan.
I'm very cynical. It comes from being very smart. Kolsch comes from being doubtedly. I've had enough of the bull crap. All right.
Oh boy. Okay. Keep telling yourself that. Okay.
I go to a multi-level marketing meeting and know right away I need to turn around and leave this place. So I've done that twice. So was Kolsch in like a keg? What are we talking about?
I mean, okay. Kolsch is. Wait, you don't know what Kolsch is? Kolsch is a.
No, I know what Kolsch is, but I'm saying, was a bottle? Was it where Kolsch reps?
Well, usually when you go, the part of the, and you all should correct me if I'm wrong here and what happened at this event, but in Köln, actually, if you go, they're in like these very skinny little glasses. So you order them sometimes by the foot or by the meter. You get like a meter of Kölsch, which is then like a row of like, I don't know, 8 or 9 of those, because they're like these tiny. So they're you can drink those very quickly because they're pretty light and they come in a small glass. And so they're very, very easy to drink.
Is it because of the aeration's not the word, but why is it in a thin glass?
I don't know. I think that's just it's just a tradition of some sort.
So Bjorn, help me out here.
Yeah.
I've seen documentaries about this.
Oh.
So in German drinking tradition, right, you fill up the glass, you put it on the ground, eye contact. So if you and me are posting, we have to look each other in the eyes. We have to post, cheers.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have to look at each other while we drink the whole thing, right?
No. Not in my experience. It was you don't have to keep eye contact the whole time, but you have to make eye contact when you cheers.
Yes, the thin glass helps with the dry taste in the Kolsch formula. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
It's related to air, right? Just like different wine glasses have to be different sizes, I imagine. Cool. They met. There's about 40 people, and one Bremen supporter was there. He's an opera singer from Oklahoma who lived in Bremen for 5 years. Amazing. Then I said on the thing, I might follow him on Twitter. I think his name is Sooner Werder, right? Or was that a different Werder Bremen fan? I know they were talking about a Werder Bremen fan who came by to hang out, and they were all about it. So that's so cool. I love it. It was Gaffelcoach in a keg. Excellent. Which was announced that we killed the keg. That's right, Jungs. That's how we do it.
Congratulations.
Great meetup. Do you have any Oktoberfest plans, Bjorn? I might try to go to the old German village and do an Oktoberfest night.
I don't really. No, I think I just observed this weekend the annual tradition of watching my team get its ass kicked by Bayern Munich for Oktoberfest.
So, Kölner Jungs, what's going on with Köln this year? Köln are struggling a little bit. They're in 16th spot, 1 point out of 5 games. How do we get Köln out of the doghouse? They have a little bit of a long road ahead of them. My favorite Köln player of all time is a man named Anthony Modeste. He was a free agent up until recently. Do you know where he is now, Bjorn?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. It's a shame It's a shame Anthony Modeste couldn't saddle up with Cohen one more time, because he was their hero off the bench.
They could use him too. Like they don't have a proper replacement for him, do they?
Not that I'm seeing. He's not a guy who's proed up now. As far as the number 9s, Hans Wolf, from early season was not looking good.
looking for Europe,
for the rest of the season. No,
definitely
no.
not.
The winner in the transfer market so far has been Bayer Leverkusen with Victor Boniface.
If you're behind us, you're definitely not looking for Europe. You got to first go up and get above Bochum.
But you know who I feel for the most? It was Mainz. I mean, they are bottom right now.
Yeah,
and they had themselves quite a game against Augsburg over the weekend, which was a really fun game, by the way. Augsburg was leading 2-1, but then they lost a man. So for 10 men, they had to defend their 2-1, and Mainz just couldn't figure it out. And Augsburg ended with a 2-1 win over Mainz. Big result for Augsburg, essentially an early season 6-pointer already. And Mainz are just on the side of a bunch of unlucky results. So we got our eyes on Cologne and Mainz. Hopefully they can dig themselves out of the hole. Mainz, 1 point, -10 goal differential. Not amazing right now. Not amazing. And I believe in 1 week or two, we have another international break so they can regroup. Heidenheim is surviving. Heidenheim, 13.
Well, they got a win last week, but they haven't done much else beside that. But yeah, they're ahead of us, and they are. Yeah,
Freiburg maybe a little bit slower than they want. They're at 7 points. Union Berlin, however.
Yeah, they have.
So I'd love to touch on for a minute. Leonardo Bonucci is playing finally.
He had a good game in the Champions League against Madrid. Right. He really was very good. And then they took him out. I was like, I don't know.
It was the kiss of death, wasn't it?
So, I mean, yeah. Well, anyway, you were going to talk about Union Berlin. Go ahead.
Union Berlin, I think, are in a 5-game losing skid in general. They lost 2-0 to Hoffenheim over the weekend. They lost last weekend, I believe, in the Bundesliga as well. But they went to Madrid this week. And, 6 Degrees of Stefan Schnitzel, apparently a cousin of mine is a huge fan, and he was there. He's a season ticket holder, and he went to Madrid. And I shared on our Schnitzel Boys Twitter, they're in the Madrid Plaza, the main plaza, singing with their Eisen Union sign, taking over Madrid. Good on them, boys. They went to the Bernabeu, a stadium that I was lucky enough to attend once upon a time. Beautiful Coliseum of football right in the middle of the city.
I've been in there, not for a game, but I have visited the place. Yeah, it's impressive.
Did you do a tour?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that anybody
How else would
you around. We just went. Yeah, we just kind of. I guess we paid to go in. Yeah.
Well, I was there for a Real Madrid Osasuna game many years ago. I saw Cristiano Ronaldo score a free kick goal. Anyway, what's beautiful about that stadium, or if you hate soccer, you hate it. It's in the center of the city. And like when a game is there, the whole city just flocks to it. Buses, trains, cars, everyone's just like, if there's a game, it's the highlight of the day. If there's a game in Madrid, everybody knows about it. You got to hear about it. So that day, Union Berlin was the guest. They were in the Bernabeu, first time ever in the Champions League. And they were holding really tight. Like the commentators were pretty much saying that Urs Fischer knows what he's doing. It's like, yeah, he does. And they held extra tight. And then who was it that broke their hearts in the last minute of the game? The last minute of stoppage time?
Jude Bellingham.
Jude Bellingham
is having a good start to his Real Madrid career.
Oh, yeah. I was listening to a podcast, and they were trying to think of a different Englishman who was having a better effect on his club. And I was like, well, Harry Kane, probably. But Jude Bellingham walked in Real Madrid and just bossed Real Madrid. They're like, I'm the boss here now. And it worked. The dude is crushing. He's a good player. Hopefully goes a different route than Jadon Sancho goes. We'll see. But in the Bundesliga, though...
Jadon Sancho, Harry Kane became... Well, I'm going to name 4 players, and you can tell me what they have in common. Harry Kane, Jadon Sancho, Kevin Keegan, and Tony Woodcock.
All 4 of these British men have scored hat tricks against VfL Bochum.
This is funny. That is funny. That's what my friend said too. But no,
They've all played against VfL
They have
Bochum?
all played. They've all scored hat tricks in the Bundesliga.
Oh,
but not
against
all.
VfL Bochum.
Not all against. Not all against Bochum. There's only 4 players that have 4 English players that have done this. Now there was also some, not controversy, but in Germany, what Harry Kane did, they don't consider a hat trick, because in Germany a hat trick traditionally was 3 goals back to back to back in one half.
Wait a minute. Which game is it not a hat trick? The Bochum game?
Well, Harry Kane, he scored 3 goals,
right.
But it was over the course of 2 halves, and there were other people scored in between, which Germans don't consider a hat trick.
Really? Why is that the case? Is there history to that?
Why is that I don't know. Just just how what their definition is of it. They call it a Dreierpack. A Dreierpack if you score, although that's more of a recent. A hat trick is definitely uninterrupted, like 3 goals in a row. If somebody else scores in between, it messes up. And the one half thing, I think, has become negotiable over the years. It can be, but if anybody else scores in between, it's not a hat trick by German.
What if I score all 3 goals in stoppage time? Is it a super hat trick?
It's just a hat trick.
A Dreierpack is something you buy at Costco because they come in Dreierpacks over there. You can't just buy a single. You have to buy 3 tides at Costco. I know a perfect hat trick is you score on your right leg, your left leg, and your head. Christian Pulisic did that.
Right.
For, I believe Chelsea once upon a time against, I think, Burnley, was it? And I also have Googled the term hat trick many times. I can never remember what it means. It never sticks. But some sort of roots with hat trick. Either way, he scored a hat trick in my heart. That's 3 goals right there. And 2 assists.
Okay, very good.
And Harry Kane just walked right into Bayern, Gary Jude Bellingham, and it's like, yeah, I'll score for you. He scored, I think, 7 goals in the first 5 games. Good on him. It's only going to get better. And I'll tell you, he is a missing piece. And Bayern mentioned if they can get their act a little bit together in the back, are a contender for the Champions League this year, and I'm all for it.
Oh, well, okay. All right, we'll see. I don't know. I still think that team is shaky, but we'll see. I mean, that was a weird. If you want to talk about Champions League,
right? 4-3.
That was kind of an odd game. A friend of mine in the group chat referred to it as the most lopsided 4-3 ever.
100%.
I think that's fair. Yeah,
because Bayern mentioned like they were in control of the game for the most. Everyone wants to talk about how Manchester United dominated in the beginning. It's like they didn't dominate; it was just 50-50. And then when Sané scored that goal on the Onana spill, that was the end of it. Bayern München had the rest of the game in their back pocket. And then it was 3-1, and Bayern München was sort of just playing. And then Manchester United scored a goal in 3-2, and then a minute later, Bayern München's like, "Oh, hold on, let's get another one then." 4-2. And then in the death, Manchester United scored on a free kick, right? It was like Bayern München let 3 goals in somehow today. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And that's what I'm talking about, getting their stuff together in the back. They're still figuring each other out. They're still figuring out Tuchel ball. But Sané is in great shape. Harry Kane's working. Muller's coming off the bench. But
the midfield is still not working.
That's that number 6 they wanted. That's never
gone. Well, they don't have. I mean, it's unclear where Kimmich really should go. The whole
over Mazraoui.
They had Goretzka and Kimmich in this case, and Musiala in front.
Right.
And it's not. It's somehow. That's
Matthias de Ligt got a start. He's been unhappy with his secondary role at the club.
But because they had him play the 6 sort of for a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, it's definitely still a work in progress. But
can I say something big and crazy?
The front line looks good. What crazy thing are you gonna say, Stefan?
Related to what you just said.
Okay.
Jamal Musiala reminds me of a young Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh boy, that is an insult.
What are you talking about?
In terms of personality.
I'm talking about the player. I'm talking about on the field. Off the field, hopefully it's not the same. Although Cristiano Ronaldo has a great work
Musiala
ethic.
comes off. I've been watching finally the first half of this All or Nothing doc, and Musiala comes off very sweet. I thought.
Yeah, I'm hoping that sticks. He's 17 or whatever. He's 14 years old. How old is he? He's like 12. He's a 12-year-old boy or whatever.
Yeah, he's
so
8. I think he's 8.
I think he's a newborn baby out there.
He just started eating solids.
Solid foods, and that's what started his soccer. But in all seriousness, as a player with the ball on his feet and going at players, it reminds me of a young, exciting Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm hoping that keeps developing. And Jamal Musiala, if that keeps going, might be Germany's first like star goat that they could sell. You know, like Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo were one-man bands.
What do you mean? We've had some.
Germany's never had a one-man band player. They always have great stars and great players, but Germans are good teammates and team players. That's why they win so many titles. But we've never had a me, myself, and I style player, which is a good thing, by the way. But Jamal Musiala could be the first guy to grow and go to Barcelona or whatever and get his own.
Oh, you mean like
Twitter
a
followers.
Ballon d'Or sort of superstar of the Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo ilk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Which might be a bad thing because it's never caused the German national team's never had that, but it's because they're successful. They always said like Lothar Matthäus, Franz Beckenbauer, Getmuller, Klinsmann, Matthäus, all the guys.
He doesn't
players.
score. He doesn't score at the rate of any of these people at this point.
Not yet.
I mean, I think he's still young. Yeah, I guess he is young.
I'm saying as Musiala, keep it up. You got a bright future, and you know, he might be the beginnings of a different type.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 20. He is only 20. That's true.
Yeah. Good up. Leroy Sané has been really maturing up and
improving,
breaking out of his shell. Yeah, I'm liking that. Gnabry still want to see back to his old form, but that's about it. Everybody else is in pretty decent shape. Back to the chat. Hans Wolf, more like sudden Atlantis or sunken Atlantis. Instead, going to Europe, but let's not forget, we are the perfect example of a yo-yo club. That's true.
That's true. When I was a kid, Köln was a contender. They were in Europe, but that was a long time ago. And then, then it was yo-yo, and I don't know. Maybe they will go that way again.
I have cousins or second cousins or aunt and uncle, 6 degrees. Their husband and wife, they're lovely. They live in that area. One is a Köln fan. The other is a Bayer Leverkusen fan, season ticket holder. Mm-hmm. And Leverkusen and Köln Leverkusen is a suburb of Köln, or it's right outside of Köln, a Vorstadt or whatever you'd call it. And Bayer Leverkusen, they're right there. Bayer Leverkusen.
It's close, but it's its own town. It's not a. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's right next to it, right?
Yeah, it is close.
It's
right.
20 minutes away or something. But Bayer Leverkusen has the more resources, the more success, right? They made it to the Champions League final in 2001, which is so hard to remember, but it happened. They got close to, the perennial second place vote. But traditionally, in the last 20, 30 years, they have been one of Germany's bigger-ish clubs, where Köln has not had that torch for that period of time. Mm-hmm. However, both of them will tell you Köln is a better game day experience. The stadium has the better atmosphere. It's a bigger stadium. They're louder fans, more passionate fans, maybe it's unfair to say more passionate, but Köln is a bigger, better game day experience than Leverkusen. So that's an interesting thought to me.
Okay.
That's what they tell me. I haven't been to either.
I've been to both. I've been to Köln is bigger, so I guess in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just taking their word for it. However, Bayer Leverkusen is about to show us something this year. I'm really excited about Bayer Leverkusen.
They've been looking good.
Yeah. David Riccio, Köln is absolutely a better game day.
All right.
Yeah, I need to go and do that. I would love it if they had a game on a Saturday and a Sunday. I went to one on Saturday.
I once went on the road to Leverkusen with Bochum, and we won 2-1 with a stoppage time winner. So I had an excellent game day experience in Leverkusen.
So I guess it depends. But the Bayer Arena,
10 out of 10 would recommend. Yeah.
But that was probably two Bayer Arenas ago. I think it's been renovated twice since.
No, that was a long time ago. And I was a road supporter, so you have a different You have a different perspective, is all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yelling, shirtless, plastered drunk. What was it like? Tell us everything.
The greatest. Well, anyway, yeah, I have stories.
You take a
But,
train? You drive.
No, I drove.
Okay. Nice. Apologies to my Coen brothers, but Gladbach
Was a great. Yeah, Gladbach I've been to. Gladbach I've been to actually fairly recently, like just a couple of years ago, and they were, I will say, not to rain on anyone's parade here, but I feel like in general the game day experience has deteriorated in the sense that it does feel a lot more choreographed. There's just a lot of like a kind of the fan sections just kind of go with their
leaders or whatever.
There's the
cheerleaders.
It's just constant singing. There's people directing who have their backs to the game, and it doesn't have the same, like ebb and flow that kind of is really connected to what's going on in the field. There's a lot of like, which I mean, this is like me being a cranky old guy, but like,
no, I'm with you. I went to the Galaxy game the other day to bring to the American game experience. What we've seen a lot lately, same with the US, is they have like a full DJ up until 10 minutes before kickoff, blasting loud music, mixed music, dance music, DJing it up, and that's like their choice. They want to create that environment, but it's also like I don't know. They're not letting anything breathe. It has to be designed from beginning to end, and it's like I'd rather the fans just get together, and it have to be organic. I want to hear fans cheering, and that's what I want to hear.
I think that's something that I appreciate about as scattered and weird as it is, the NYCFC fan experience and like where sometimes things are quiet. It's not that organized, and sometimes when there's nothing going on, it gets very quiet.
At Red Bulls games, you can hear a pin drop,
and it can be a little awkward. But then also, it feels it feels sort of more real, when there is emotion, and it's like, this is not just because we feel like we have to do it. It's like the flags. There's a lot of flags being waved. It's like if you're actually in a supporter section trying to watch a game, somebody waving a flag in front of you is the most irritating.
And some of them are huge,
and they're massive flags.
They have 5 flags on one. There's like 5 different, and they're just gigantic.
And it looks great on TV, but it's like if you're actually there, it's like, just can you put the fucking thing down? There's a game going on.
Like our friend Michael Studnick, who does the German flag for LAFC games. My arms get tired just thinking about that. Like who waves a flag?
Yeah, that is very hard work, and So
I was at MLS Cup last year, and I snuck into the Philly fan section because I had my cheap tickets. You know the story. And I was sitting there, and in front was a lady waving a flag and cheering us. And I was like moving myself over because I couldn't really see the game. And then she blocked the goal with the flag. Like a goal happened, she blocked. And literally, I literally stood up. I was like, "Get the hell out of the way!" And then I moved sections. I snuck to a lower bowl section, watched the rest of the game, and then with the LAFC fans in a better section. But yeah, I don't get that. I'll never get that. Proud on all of them, proud on the fan culture. I love that they're doing their thing.
Yeah,
but I'm like you. I really just there for the game and the game. I want to watch the game from beginning to end, and I want to watch the game and cheer on my team. That's what I want to do.
But yeah, Gladbach also very loud. It's great. I mean, all the North Rhine-Westphalia. That's like the heart. It's the heart of German soccer. I mean, I'm obviously biased there, but all those
next season, Schnitzel Boys on tour. We're going to Ruhr. We're going to every Bundesliga game and doing a full review of the atmosphere.
Okay.
Everyone, we're going to go to Bochum, Schalke, Dortmund, Gladbach, Köln, Leverkusen, Wuppertal. We're doing it all.
We're going to Wuppertal.
And Wuppertal is going to be the best
2 months.
one.
We're going to go to Germany for 2 months.
Braunschweig. Right. We're going to Eintracht Braunschweig game. We're going to Rot-Weiß Essen game.
I almost went to Rot-Weiß Essen. That was the one game that was happening. I could have gone to see Rot-Weiß Essen.
When I'm in Germany, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be in Germany. I might go to a VfB Lübeck game. That might be
very nice.
Let's just go to a 3rd division game. See what that's like.
That's great. So the German teams did all right in the Champions League overall. Not great.
Not Dortmund.
Dortmund kind of got a little fortunate, I feel like, with that 2-0 loss. It looked worse than that. Watching.
Yeah, Dortmund is not so to recap, Bayern München thumbs up. They still got one or two things to work out, but they could be a freight train.
Union
Leverkusen,
Berlin sort of thumbs up. I mean, they fought valiantly for a long time, but I mean, it was a defensive effort. They didn't have really any. There was never any thought of them scoring a goal, really. But
Union Berlin are in that weird mode where they're that little club that's making a go for it. They've got a lot of players.
They have a deep squad, though.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't. It's not like, oh, they just have like their 11 and then there's this drop. They have a lot of depth, but somehow, I don't know.
It's high risk. What
not
I'm saying,
currently
it's high risk.
happening.
They're spending a lot of money on players, probably too much than they have. They're probably banking on getting out of the group, or else they'll, or else they'll struggle.
They can't bank on making it out of that group.
I know they can't. What I'm saying is they're that small club that made that risky decision to be like, we've got 3 tournaments. Let's sign 5 extra guys, which they did. Let's make a go of all of these. And it's a very risky decision. And so far, at the very beginning, it's not looking great. This could cause trouble for Union Berlin, as in back to the second division with you for a while.
Whoa!
We've
We've
seen it many times
very,
before.
Very doomy and gloomy now.
Well, the last time Bochum got the Europa League was the kiss of death. We didn't see them for another 20 years. It's just a small clubs have to make a decision.
That's not exactly what happened.
20
years?
All
right. Your mind is.
I said this before.
This is what this podcast is a visit to Stefan's mind.
When Bochum had a great season in 2003, 2004 under Peter Neuer, they got in the Europa League. The next season, they were in the Europa League. It was a big deal, but they got relegated. It was too much for them, and then they didn't get promoted until 2 seasons ago. Whatever. What I'm saying, it's not just Bochum. This is Europe. This isn't even just Germany. This is Europe.
It's small clubs. You get to, you gotta be smart about it. We'll have to see how Union does.
I was just thinking, there's a little Icarus complex going on here. Sometimes
you're going, but flying too close to the sun.
Exactly. So there was another.
Their wings are melting. The Union wings are melting. We're watching them melt.
Perhaps. What I'm saying, it's a very chess-like business moves that are going on here, and it's very risky. It's high risk.
But listen up here. Listen up. I have to hold you to account here. You're the one who said that clubs should do this.
Right.
You were advocating for more depth, better players, spend more money. Let's go. Compete.
I was telling that to the bigger clubs, though. That's my caveat. I was telling Bayer Leverkusen. I was telling RB Leipzig to do that. I was telling Wolfsburg to do that. I wasn't telling little Union Berlin to do that. But Union Berlin made that choice. Good for them. They got that investment or whatever. They got that slush fund investment. I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best. They're a fun thing. They're crushing it in Berlin. They're this cool success story. They're the talk of the town. I hope they keep it up, is all I'm saying. And in all fairness, at Real Madrid was their toughest game in the group
and it
stage.
Was a great. I mean, and they did well for for so much of it. It was heartbreaking. I thought they could get out of there with a point, and it wasn't until the very end. And it was a pretty soft corner kick bouncing around the box, and then Jude Bellingham just taps it in. Yeah.
But what about the 4 games they lost in the Bundesliga?
Yeah, no, it's not going well for them. I'm not arguing there. Leipzig came from got a win. It looks on paper looks pretty comprehensive, 3-1 against Young Boys, but that was also a little labored. Those 2 goals came late. They thought they had a penalty. Referee went to the monitor, looked at the monitor for a while, was like, nope, I don't think so, and didn't give it. And this took a little bit until they really put it away. It was the 2-1 came in the 73rd, and the 3-1 not until stoppage time. So, but Leipzig still looking good, and then they survived Gladbach this weekend. Also, we're little because this is always often a problem for these Champions League teams when they then have to play the rested teams on short rest.
Continental hangover effect.
And the Gladbach game looked pretty close, but in the end they got the goal. So yeah, Leipzig and Leverkusen are really the 2 dark horse contenders in the.
Yeah, also, who scored that goal over the weekend for Leipzig?
The Austrian guy again, right?
No, Timo Werner.
Oh, Timo Werner. No, you mean on this weekend? Yeah,
the
Timo Werner
Bundesliga.
with a uncharacteristically clinical finish. At first, it looked like he had kind of stumbled it, but no,
he's about to stumble.
the goalie kind of got a hand on it, and he recovered and from a tight angle buried it. It was kind of a very un-Timo Werner-like goal.
But he got it in. He got another goal. Hopefully, it'll help his confidence because
it's very good. Yeah, because he hasn't been playing a whole lot.
He's still Chelsea broken. Chelsea's still broken.
And
then the big
Europa League and Conference League went 3 for 3 for the German teams.
That's right.
Also, not without incident. Leverkusen just crushed Hacken.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
4-0. Freiburg had some trouble. They kind of
Olympiacos
had a bunch of air, let in some soft goals, but did enough to recover 3-2 at the end. And Frankfurt beat Aberdeen, where NYCFC youth product Dante Polvara got a goal for Aberdeen. He went there like a couple of years ago, and then I guess I just forgot about him until
the Scots are probably claiming him as the best American of all time.
Scored a goal, scored the first goal against Frankfurt, but then Frankfurt in the end won 2-1. So
Scots are claiming it's probably the best American of all time. It's ridiculous that only a guy like him could be in Scotland, and we should be thankful for Scottish football being so much better than ours. Some of that. Anyway,
what just happened?
Just claiming the Scottish fans. Derek Ray is always on Twitter talking up how great the Scottish football is, and I get in a lot of arguments with Scottish fans. They consider American soccer to be way lesser than their thing that they got going on. And I'm like, I don't know. If an MLS reject like Dante Palomero, whatever his name is, crushing for you, I think it's USL level football over there. But let's see the there.
Hans Wolf is saying that David has that Riz. David,
right?
We met him in person. He has that Riz. It's a really good dude. That's great. I'm so glad you got to hang out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's also saying, ever seen that really good movie called The Fountain? I have not. I don't think.
No,
that's
but
that's Stefan's mind. Very complex and beautiful at the same time.
Hell yeah.
Your mind is like the fountain. Oh, I got to look this up.
I'm like Beautiful Mind. I'm like David Nash. I always see fake voices, but I am a super genius. I'm a soccer savant. I'm a football savant.
Okay.
Thank you for that comment, Hans Wolf. I'm glad they were together. You know what I love? I love this. So we started this podcast to be like, let's get the German American voice out there. We don't have much. You know, where else are you going to get a German American show? And I love the little community starting. And we want to be the home of the German American soccer voice right here on YouTube. I love that you guys met. And let's keep it coming, keep it growing. I'm going to do my best to reach out to other clubs. There was this club on Facebook. I saw a photo, speaking of Oklahoma, of an LA Bayern München fan driving cross country and stopping at the Oklahoma Bayern München supporters group. And it was him. It was also like 20 folk at this beer hall in the middle of Omaha, like right east of Omaha. Or is that Nebraska? Omaha's Nebraska, isn't it? It was this big Bayern München group, supporters group, hanging out in Omaha, and it was like an LA guy visiting them, from the LA chapter, and it was a lot of fun. And it was like every weekend there's just a whole bunch of Bundesliga fans out and about, and I want us to be the corner of the internet they can come by and say hi. You know what I mean? Like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Let's go.
It's a beautiful
The Fountain. It's a Darren Aronofsky movie. I had missed it. I got to check it out.
I love The Wrestler. I love Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, I like that.
I haven't seen The Fountain yet. Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is
like your brain. It's like your brain. You got to watch it.
I watched Batman versus Ninja Turtles recently. That was amazing. It was a masterpiece.
What?
Oh, such a good movie. Came out 2 or 3 years ago. It's animated. It's from Warner Brothers Animation, but it was like that old Batman show, but the Ninja Turtles are in it. It was an hour and a half long. And that movie was a masterpiece. Anyway, I was eating cereal. I was like a kid in a candy store.
We like to be a well-rounded podcast. We embrace the highbrow and the lowbrow.
Listen, we're the Bayern fan. We're the Bayern fan
and the midriff.
and the midriff, or the hourglass, or what it was. But the last sort of big topic I want to talk. I guess there's two big ones, but the last Bundesliga topic I want to talk about is Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Hans-Joachim Watzke, who's becoming like the most powerful, maniacal man in German soccer.
The super villain.
He's like the Lex
German
Luthor.
soccer super villain.
He's like, yeah, we've got 7 points or whatever it is they have. How many points they got? Let's take a look here. They got 11 points. They said if you multiply that to 34, that gives us 68 points, which is how many points we usually have. That's what he said. And I was just like, wow, that's amazingly
matter of fact,
but also does not instill a lot of confidence, right? If you're like a Dortmund fan, it's like, shouldn't we be reaching? It's the same question I always have for Borussia Dortmund. Shouldn't they be reaching higher, right? Am I wrong? Should the sports director be content with the fact that you're on track for the same amount of points you've had?
Well, I mean,
during all the years you've won nothing?
He's just saying that to keep people, to
calm. But something's got to give over there, right? Borussia Dortmund, like I said, were schooled in Paris, which is going to be their toughest game, but still, they're in a tough group, and they're looking like they're going to be the Toronto FC of that group. I mean, they got the next games are Newcastle and Milan, right? Newcastle and Milan, I think.
Yeah, that's a tough group.
And Dortmund just overall, like they got a win over the weekend, but it was at Wolfsburg, or were Wolfsburg at home? It was them and Wolfsburg, and it was just pulling teeth. They've eventually got their goal. I think what's his face? Marco Reus came off the bench and got them their winner off the bench. And it's like, really, is this what you got for me this year, Borussia Dortmund? Is that what you got? So Borussia Dortmund, the most disappointing of the bigger German clubs so far, I would say.
Well, it's still a long way to go. I mean, it's not like they're 2 points out at first. Yeah,
but the way they're playing, it's just my thing with Borussia Dortmund is, they used to have Jurgen Klopp, they had Ottmar Hitzfeld, they had big managers doing big things, and they were Germany's number 2 club, right? Now they're just like, oh, we like Edin Terzic because he doesn't talk back to Watzke. And, we got rid of Marco Rose, and we got rid of Peter Bosch, and we got rid of all the big managers. And we just wanted kind of a yes-and fanboy. So they got that in Edin Terzic. And Edin Terzic isn't exactly proving to be tactical supermind here. He's sort of a motivation coach, I guess. And I'm just looking at that being like, shouldn't Dortmund be reaching a little higher?
They were like one game where they choked away from winning the league last year.
I know, they choked, and now they've done nothing. They've sold their best player since, and now they're worse. That's what their response to that was.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm just Borussia Dortmund. My eyes are on you. The pressure.
You're the man. You're the man of the takes. I mean, it's early days. I don't think. I mean, yeah, they haven't looked great, but like to be like, I think it's too early for grand proclamations about their season.
All right. So, do you feel Edin Terzic will lead them to a league title this season?
Well, I said already that no one will ever beat Bayern again, because if Dortmund couldn't do it last year, then no one ever will. So. I don't think anyone can win other than Bayern until I see it happen.
Bayer Leverkusen, you're our only hope. Like Princess
Bayer Leverkusen, Leipzig, Dortmund, all of these could be, they could be contenders, but probably not. No. History shows.
All right. So, let's hope Cologne and Mainz get their act a little bit better. I know Bo Svensson right now has a little pressure on him. I don't know. I hope they stick with him.
For sure.
And then last but not least,
Julian Nagelsmann.
The German national team has their coach. It was apparently the only guy, the way German soccer works, the only guy that was around. It was Julian Nagelsmann. They're like, it'll be you. You're available. You're around. You're popular for some reason.
Yeah, it's if you're looking for me to have any idea about how this is going to go, I do not. I have no idea. This has never happened, that the DFB hire somebody without really any institutional knowledge. He hasn't really coached for the DFB ever.
He's 36.
He's 36. He's a very young guy.
He could be the head coach for the next 30 years.
He's not.
What if that were the case?
His contract's only for the summer. This does not feel like it's going to last 30 years. I think this seems like he's going to do it for 8 months, and he wants to. It seems like they talked him into this, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could be great. I don't think he has not done anything wrong. We talked about this last week. You think he hasn't done anything? I don't know. I thought he was pretty successful in his.
He won one Bundesliga with Bayern
endeavors,
and but everybody's won one Bundesliga with Bayern München.
Okay,
I think even Nico Kovac did, didn't he?
I am not gonna. When Hansi Flick got appointed, I was like, this is gonna be great, and it wasn't. And so I don't know. I got nothing. I don't know how. I'm excited to see it happen in front of me in Hartford, Connecticut.
You will be there at the first game
in a few weeks. So I can't wait to see it. But do I have any prognosis? I think the relationship between him and he does not strike me as a DFB kind of guy. But we'll see if Rudi can keep him on the straight and narrow. I would have loved Rudi if they're only going to hire somebody for 8 months.
Right, have it be Rudi. I'm all about that too.
But I guess he really didn't want to do it.
No.
But yeah, yeah.
And as we discussed last week, the DFB, like Rudi and the DFB, might not be the best of friends right now because of.
Because of the new socialist leadership.
The guy who hates money who runs the thing. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Like, it is funny. He's young. Literally, he could be the coach for the next 35 years. He's like, he retires at 70.
Definitely. I'm not.
Why not?
I'm not sure of many things, but I will bet against that. I do not. I don't think Julian Nagelsmann is going to be coach of the German national team for 35 years.
Hey, we need another Sepp Herberger, and he's the guy. All right, Hanswolf, heck yeah. Certain keep building those ties for more and more football SGs over here. Stateside, the timing is ideal with other athletes getting signed to the Bundesliga last 8 years. Yeah, the games are on TV. Our players are going over there and playing. Right now is a better time than ever to connect.
Some more than others.
Some more than others, right?
Playing.
German Americans, German Bundesliga. Schnitzel boys. That's what we're here for. That's what we're doing, baby.
That's it.
All right.
On that note.
Tschüss. Bis nächste Woche.
A pleasure as always. Lovely to talk to you.
Thanks. And for those of you listening at home, the chat's open. Come on in. If you're that Werder Bremen opera guy, come to the chat. Talk to us. We want to talk.
Please.
Come on in. We need to get a recording of you singing Pellegrino.
Oh my God! Yes.
Materazzo.
He's not going to do that if he has any respect for himself. That's why professionals don't do that kind of thing. It just takes goofballs like us.
Hey, the fan experience, German American soccer experience, right here, live on the YouTubes and the interwebs. We're all over the place, baby. All right, cheers.
Tschüss. Bis nächsten Montag.